Welcome back to the AoT Chronicles and Attack on Titan podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ronnie.
I'm Chatty.
And we are here today to cover the part 1 of Season 4 finale. Episode 16, episode 75, Above and Below.
Season 4, baby.
So go ahead and let's not bury the lead. We're very excited today, Chad. We're having a good day. Break it down for the people.
I'm breaking it down. This is the last episode of Season 4, Part 1, final season.
Second part on the way.
We got confirmation. Hopefully, it looks like it's winter of 2022,
right?
Which would be, December, January, February, and 9 to 10 months, hopefully, is when we get the next episode.
Yeah. It basically like less than a year, which seems... As someone who's watched a lot of shows who go away for a long time, I was inspired by that. Because it could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
Just like people, luckily not us, but fans of this show have done before, where it just goes away for, 3 years. So we're going to take it. We were very excited to hear that because...
And hopefully there's no virus that happens and pushes it back further.
Well, that's true, too. That bitch Corey V really has the world by the balls, even to this day. But we're working through it, and how about we work through this episode?
Let's work
Speaking of working through it. So yeah, Above and Below, what did you think?
I liked it. This isn't exactly what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely thought it would be like a setup for the second part, because I feel like they wouldn't do anything too crazy.
Right.
But the cliffhanger they left on was pretty awesome.
Yeah, after last episode, I was of the same mind. I didn't think anything too crazy was going to happen. I was still excited to see the episode, and I was pretty crushed, I guess is a good word to say, about what they did to all of us right there at the end.
We were pretty much
just a real dick move, guys. Real dick move.
We're on the Horstoria wait time now. We got to wait about 9 months.
About 9 months.
Yeah.
That baby's going to, materialize and just slide right on out of us, and we'll be right here. Well, that's what it does,
It doesn't slide out, it crawls out, I think.
Well, definitely didn't crawl out. I think it just slides. Well, it didn't really say, hey, that's not respecting women enough, because they go through a lot.
Yeah.
So I would
take that back.
Yeah, I would actually like to rephrase that. Apologize.
Jeez, dude. I'm the one that respects the women on this pod, and it's time.
Well, I don't know about that. Women, you're amazing. Keep having those kids. Ronnie and Chad could never do it. I'll tell you that right now. So let's get into this episode. By the way, I might count your yawns today.
0. So far it's 0.
So far 0. There was a lot during note taking, but it was kind of in the first half. You did better near the end. And I see you kind of... I talked about it. You're fighting one back now. I saw that.
They're contagious, man. You don't even have to see someone do it. You just talk about it. It's contagious.
I won't count that one. And then one last thing before we get into it. So what we think we're going to do is, because we've actually got I have some family stuff going on, a little family dinner. It's the mom and Travis's birthday. Travis is my brother. So they're doing a little dinner. So what we might have to do is we're going to cover the episode today. We've got a lot of questions backed up. So we're going to do one more Attack on Titan wrap up before we move on to our next show, Jujutsu Kaisen. And we're going to answer questions, talk about theories, what we want to see. So look for that coming up sometime next week. This one might be a little bit shorter.
And we might just do the top 5 at the end, right?
Yeah, we're going to do a top 5. That's a good way to wrap up this episode. So with that being said, Hanji, we open up on her group where they're overhearing the Thunder Spear explosion from last episode. And of course, she's been having a rough time as commander, but she's no pushover. She knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, and it's raining too. That's always a bad omen when it's raining.
Fuck Flock, by the way.
Flotch?
Yeah. He's got some expert analysis saying that something must have happened in the direction of that sound. Thanks, Flock, but fuck you.
He always brings the expert analysis to the table.
No wonder you're second in command of this Jaegerist movement.
Did you guys hear that explosion? Something must have happened over there.
What a beautiful mind. And we cut over to see Zeke, and he's looked better.
Yeah, this is pretty sad, man. I mean, his beard still looks really good.
Yeah. How did you think, like, waist down, how was he looking?
Not too well. Not too well.
I'll tell you how he was looking. He wasn't, because it wasn't there.
Okay, how is this guy going to use the bathroom? That's the first thing I thought of, is how is he going to use the toilet?
He's going to hold it until he can regrow himself.
That secret ass wiping technique, he's not going to need it.
So he's in a daze. He's thinking to himself about how quiet everything is, more than likely because his eardrums have just busted from the explosion. And right as you might assume that, okay, Attack on Titan, we're wrapping up this part, we're going to start getting some answers. No more questions. Well, what do we get? We see some young random girl we've never seen before frolicking around with a basket.
I did like, before we saw that though, the shot of the flowers. There's just 3 flowers right there. Mm-hmm. And the rain coming down. I thought that was a beautiful shot.
Beautiful, yeah.
Beautiful in death. Zeke's dead. Zeke and Levi are dead.
I mean, what do we say about this girl? You want to say anything right now? We're going to wait a little bit, talk about it maybe later on.
We can talk about it a little later on. I think one of our first impressions is what you said, is maybe that's his future daughter, Historia.
The first time through, I didn't come up with like any of that. Basically, this was the kind of thing that they put on screen, and at the time I went, oh, fuck you. I can't deal with this right now. I'm literally going to forget about it until I finish the episode, and then I'll pace backwards and try and figure something out. We'll talk about it a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
So the Titan from last episode that had a hand throne made up for Zeke, it casually crawls over and rips open its belly and slides Zeke right on in.
Yeah, he must have. Do you think? Okay, so 2 episodes ago, when the Levi and Zeke fight, we did see that mouth move of the Titan, and we were like, "What the hell was that?" Do you remember that?
The mouth move. What do you?
Okay, so when Zeke got blown up by Levi, and Levi won the fight, he's dragging Zeke away, and we see that because he never technically slashed the nape of that Titan, because he tore it apart and threw it. So that was what it was. Was the Titan confirmed? Right. Yeah. So it's regened now, and that's how it got over to Zeke.
Yeah, I can't remember how much we touched on that in that episode, but we did notice that, and so yeah, it was just able to regen, and here it is now, just ripping its stomach open, which reminded me of Rouse when he turned into what kind of abomination he did, and was on the wall, and
the turkey guy,
half of his face was ripped off. Just a lot of owie vibes. That's kind of what I thought. Ronnie thought owie.
You know what I thought instantly was it was going to be an owie that Titan was going to eat him. But then I realized that, the Titan was from Zeke's spinal fluid. He can control him. Okay, that makes...
Well, I admitted this to you. We can talk about this, too. A little peek behind the curtain, as we like to do around here. I don't know why Crunchyroll has just decided, or Attack on Titan's just decided that they were going to air everything at this certain time, and then the past 2 weeks, they're like, oh, you know what? Let's just push everything back an hour to just really piss people off. Yeah. And we knew about it last week, but we were so hyped for this week. We just came over to the studio, and lo and behold, we sit here, and it says, oh, hey, you got to wait another hour. And
yeah, that was really frustrating, man.
Hypothetically, allegedly, all right? Nothing can confirm this.
Hypothetically.
We did it from a burner laptop, all hypothetically. We might have...
First go round,
illegally streamed this. And so we had to do that from a laptop. We didn't have the setup we needed, so I'll go ahead and say we might have cuddled up on the couch together, got in close.
Fired up the lime wire, and then...
you smelled heavily of cotton candy vape and espresso.
Okay, well, I had a little weekend excursion, man. That's why I had the vape on me. But yes.
So this all to say that we were watching on a laptop. It was very dark, and for half a second, I panicked, thinking what was crawling towards Zeke and was going to eat him was a Levi Titan. But we don't see Levi. We'll just go ahead and say that, which just gives me all the more reason to believe that he's out there and he's okay.
Yeah, I would have loved to seen Levi crawl over and eat him. Not even in Titan form, just human form.
There's some fanfic for you somewhere, I'm sure. So we come out of the opening credits and we join back in over at Shiganshina, where Jaegerists are tying armbands onto people, and Yelena is enjoying a meal with old Dot Pixies.
Good old Dot.
You know what Ronnie's got to do here. Just got to do a little breakdown of this food situation. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I know my way around the kitchen, know my way around a plate even better. This one had me a little confused. I had a trouble finding the right words.
Yeah, I've got to say, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, Ronnie's going to have a field day with this. And then I started examining a little bit, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a little tougher.
This is my best bet, you know. One thing I'm positive I can say is I think we've got some sort of lentil situation going on, some beans perhaps.
Pinto?
Yeah, I'm not confident enough to say I don't believe pinto. More of a green beanish ordeal going on. I believe we have some sort of fish again. Anytime there's a nondescript meat that looks very white in tone, I'm just going, they're on an island. This has got to be some sort of fish. We have what looks to be a single Brussels sprout on the plate.
I saw that.
Which, throw a couple more on. And what really kind of freaked me out was the entire plate is smeared with what looks to be some sort of cranberry sauce.
I think that's Zeke's fluid.
I don't know if that's, it might be some sort of reduced balsamic vinaigrette reduction. That's just, I'll tell you one thing, way too much sauce for the food portion.
I agree. You totally, and a lot of times I don't agree with you with food. You just go a little too in depth, and it just kind of creeps me out sometimes. But this time I will agree. Too much sauce. There's a lot of times I say there's never too much sauce.
Nothing makes me more mad than when you don't have enough sauce.
Exactly. But when you just coat that bitch and make it look like your food is swimming in it, you might have a problem.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. And then to wrap it all up, we have one dinner roll to the side on a little saucer.
But how about this, man?
Well, 1 second. Don't step on my roll take here, because this place has got to get its bread intake down. Last time we had 10 loaves of bread on the table. This time we have one single dinner roll. With all that sauce, you're going to need more bread to stop that up. Can we please get into a nice, where you give a choice between two... I'm being modest. There's no way I'm having dinner rolls unless I at least have 3 to 6 dinner rolls, right?
Oh, 3 to 6, okay.
If you have the right kind of butter, that cinnamon butter, it's not uncommon for Ronnie to flirt with a 6 dinner roll situation.
Well, what about this situation here? You eat about 2 or 3 of them, okay, before you're eating your meal. At the end of the meal, your other 2 or 3, you dip it all in that sauce.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, one dinner roll, not acceptable.
So you want some more dinner rolls, so at the end of your meal, when the sauce is left over, you can just dip it on in there.
Yep.
I like that.
That's right.
I was going to say, though, food always brings people together. Pixis and Yelena, you would think they would have some bad blood right now. Zeke's been pouring his fluid all in these people's wines. They've been sucking down Zeke's fluid for days now.
Just, you know what you're doing, and I don't like it.
But they can bond.
But you know what you're doing, and I'm not a fan of it.
Of what?
Just make your point.
The point is, food can make anyone bond together. Enemies, friends, we can all bond over a plate of food.
I have to disagree, because I don't think old Dodd's in the greatest of moods at the moment. Final thing about the meal, they had 3 forks and 3 knives. Where's the spoon? No soup dish? I mean, salad should have already come and went by this point. They still have 3 forks. Just terrible dinner service. Of course, this is what Yelena would have set up for this nice meeting. Terrible. Speaking of Yelena, she's really feeling herself right now. She's taking a victory lap about how everything went down exactly how she said. Pixies prohibited the military from making any resistance and gathered all the soldiers in Shiganshina just as they requested. And my guy Dot, he speaks up and says that he had no choice once he learned that so many of them had been dosed with Titan spinal fluid.
Okay, so
that's the very important part that you seem to be leaving out constantly. Titan spinal fluid.
Yes,
Zeke's Titan spinal fluid.
That's what it is.
Just moving on. And he knows that they could all turn into Titans at any moment. But here's why I like our guy Dot. He's still thinking for the good of the other innocent people on the island and says that there is no better place for them to be than here where all the other civilians have evacuated.
Good old Shinganshina.
And he also adds, what am I to do when my allies are pointing guns at my back? And so the man behind him looks very emotional. You can tell he's scared. Yeah. He apologizes and says that both of him and his son drank the wine.
Yeah, I mean, if me and my son had been drinking another man's fluid, I'd be livid, but I would also be terrified.
Okay, and so you knocked me off my track again because I don't like how you keep talking about you and your son drinking men's fluids. The man looks emotional, and I felt kind of bad for him. But this is Dot. He's not having any bitch-made excuses. And asked the man when he first betrayed them. Yelena, she cuts him off and tells the scared man that there is no need to answer. So this is why we love Dot. Because if we're in his shoes, me and you, I just can't even imagine what kind of things would be going through your head at this point if you knew that you could become a Titan any second. And not even one of the cool ones, might I add, just the brainless ones. But
I mean, really, what you can't do anything. Like, you're screwed.
So much to the point that I say what all would be going through your head. I would argue that nothing would be going through your head because you'd be so depressed and just ready to end it all.
I'm surprised that there's not. Well, they might just not have shown it, but there wasn't more people that didn't just off themselves.
Yeah. But yet Pixie's on the other hand, he's still looking around and figuring out what's going on with all these impromptu armbands. It's just like little handkerchiefs that they've started tying on people's arms. And he deduces that the earlier you switch sides, the better position you have now. The white armband means that you are proudly a Jaegerist. Red stands for those who learned they drank the tainted wine and were forced to comply. And then he says, and those of us fools who drank the wine without knowing a thing are identified with the black armbands.
So Pixis is one of them.
Yeah, he's got the black armband, so he says that, but it also feels kind of almost like he left something out because what's the difference between black and red? Black is like they're not complying, right?
Black is like they're not forced to comply. So I guess she's not forcing Pixis to, or she knows that even if she does try to force him, he won't do it. I don't know.
Because he makes it seem like even the ones that have the red one didn't know what they were doing. They just drank the wine, and now we're going with it. So that was a little confusing, but I think that's what's going on. And he says, so these armbands, that's kind of how Marley does things. And looks up to Yelena and asks her, didn't they do something similar when they took over your homeland? And
I gotta think that this... this mammoth of a woman, Yelena, has got to be from somewhere like Russia, don't you think?
She's,
I mean, where else do they just pump out these BFGs, man?
She's a woman. She's there. I wouldn't want to tussle with her, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. You'd just be forced to comply.
Did you say BFG?
Yeah.
Now, I'm familiar with our terminology of BFC. What, you want to enlighten me?
I was being a little nicer to her at this point.
Just girl?
Big effing girl, yeah. But because there's probably a point in time where I might use the C word.
Well, thank you for censoring yourself. I would hate for you to use the F word on this podcast. Let's keep it
You're welcome.
Let's keep it fucking classy, okay? So... Yelena speaks up and says that we can learn a lot from our enemies, but he's pissed off. He's a little sassy right now, I can't lie. He doesn't let her finish her thought before saying, such as how to make more of them. Ooh.
Yeah, get wrecked. Honestly, though, Yelena, I don't like her that much at all, but she's kind of a good villain. Like, saying shit like that. you can learn a lot from your enemy, even though it's so contradictory to like what she's against, I guess.
Right, yeah. She, I would agree with that. I don't mind her as a villain, and he just spit on the floor again like he does sometimes. It's super weird. Don't know why he does it.
Well, I pay for this studio, so I get nothing in return.
So Dot, he's already badass enough for doing this, but I can't help but feel like it's some of it's taken away just because he's in such a shitty spot here.
Yeah, I mean,
like he's going out strong, but I don't see how any of this ends well for him. So
do you think in the end he's gonna turn into a Titan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he so is.
Yeah, I think at this point,
I want one last good big brain Pixis moment before that happens.
Yeah, and he's doing good here. Like he's saying all the right things. He's brave. He's not, falling to his knees, being a bitch about it.
Like you would.
Well, yeah, exactly how I would do it. We get a close-up on Yelena's face with just the most arrogant haircut of all time. So anyway, there was one particular shot in here where I just had to pause it, and you thought I was taking notes, but I was just looking at you, and you said, what? And I just said, fuck that haircut. Because What is she doing?
Season 3 Flock haircut or Yelena's haircut? Where do you lay on that?
Season 3 Flock. Because Flock, to me, he was just like, okay, I've got to wake up, apply 8 different hair products to my hair, and create layers. Whereas I felt like she was like, okay, so right here bangs 3 inches, right here bangs 5 inches, shave the back. In the back bangs 4 inches, middle to right sides bangs 5.5 inches. Like they had a ruler and they were going around and being like, okay, so is that good? She was like, well, you kind of went a little short there. Go ahead and make that one 2.75 inches.
Oh, yeah. And then she probably got... we've never seen the back of her head, I don't think. She probably has BFC shaved into the back of her head.
We did see the back of her hair, Chad, and she did not. So I'll go ahead and tell you that. Okay.
Well, never mind.
She just didn't have that shit. I mean, I'd like to go with you, but I saw the back of her head. She didn't have that.
Okay.
So, she says, was it not your people who refused to side with us? And like I said, Dot's on one. It says something about how he can't believe they failed to trust guests who served them tainted wine. I mean, let's go.
Let's go.
My boy.
Hey, Pixis is just like, I cannot believe you would ruin alcohol like that, you dirty bastards.
Okay, but here's the funny thing, right? So Dot knows that he can become a Titan at any point. We know he's still drinking the wine, right?
Oh, yeah. This guy is guzzling down the wine.
He's like, well, damage is done, and just knocks back a couple more glasses. Everyone just looks at him horrified.
Yeah, he's still asking her for it. She's like, okay.
He's like, I'm not doing this if I'm not drunk. So Yolani says that Pixies and them were both foolish and wise, and that if they had trusted Zeke from the start, the world might be saved by now. And her wording kind of confuses Dot, because he was under the impression that they were trying to connect Aaron and Zeke to keep the island safe and enemies at bay, rather than the whole world like she's talking about. And we get a little glimpse at that fucking traitor, Anya Capone, who's over there sweating bullets. What do you have for this guy?
I was right about it. I was right about this MFer from the beginning. You never trust a man that is good at dealing / shuffling cards. And that's the number 1 rule, okay? Mm-hmm. This MFer has been banging Yelena this entire time, and I am sick of people being on this guy's side. I called it from the beginning, and all these people are like, oh, this guy is such an innocent, sweet soul. No. This man I saw him, they were playing poker, I think, a couple episodes ago. I saw him counting cards.
No, you didn't.
This guy's a bastard, man. I knew not to trust him.
I've always said this. I keep it real. Sometimes you come in limping in with takes about BFC being shaved in the back of heads. That's just not true. But then you have the horse take and the guy who deals cards take. And this one's just as good as the horse one, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's just...
I think there was an interview on YouTube not too long ago of Isayama. He kind of doubled down on that horse. Obviously he wrote the show. I kind of deciphered it out. I didn't hear anybody else with the take.
Professional podcaster, baby.
But I think he mentioned a guy named Chad, how he was the only one in the U.S. He didn't mention, there's smarter people in Japan, but the only one in the U.S. who deciphered it out. So I just wanted to, not to toot my own horn or anything.
It's incredible. Is he coming on the podcast?
Well, we're working on it. Part 2.
We got plenty of time now, so, we'll wait a couple months and start sending some emails. We don't want to...
I think he's finishing up the manga, so we've got plenty of time after that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, at this point, Anya Capone, I'm not even sure what this guy does except fly zeppelins in circles and get in the way. So he weakly says, Yelena? But she says, it's too late. Zeke gave you plenty of time, and you answered his mercy by planning to kill him. So heads up, by the way, it's about to get crazy in here. She goes on to say, Zeke is the god who will save the world, and you've earned his wrath.
That was a crazy line. To me, it's crazy because Zeke doesn't even look at himself like that. And this chick is just all over it. Like, Zeke is not ever once, to me at least, seemed like he has like a super god complex. Do you think so?
No, well, no.
So you think this bitch is just crazy?
Not like she's making it out to seem. I'm going to tell her, hey, make a call, get an appointment. I don't care if it's a little later in the day and you like to sleep in a little bit. Get your ass up early, go in, fill out the paperwork, because Lord knows you haven't been to a doctor in a while. Get checked up, and then at the end, even if they don't think that you deserve them, ask, hey, doc, can you hook me up with some chill pills? Because, girlfriend, you need some.
Oh, yeah. And I was going to say something else, but it might be a little too profane for the pod, so I won't talk about her wanting his Kong Dong.
Well, you've been doing a great job of censoring yourself, which has just been really great because we don't like...
But yeah, she really wants his Kong Dong.
Yeah, you said it the first time and we got it, but thanks for double dipping. So what are the odds that she is so horny for Zeke that she too has just been chugging this wine? Doesn't even do anything to her, but she can't get enough of this man's fluid.
You really just mentioned this guy's fluid. That is disgusting. But I mean, you got a good point though. I could definitely see it. Do you think like his fluid tastes good? Like how did they not notice? I guess it just the wine is so good, or his fluid is just so tasty.
Are you asking me what Zeke tastes like?
I mean, not what he tastes like. What his fluids taste like.
It's a smoker, so I would imagine his fluid's a little bit tainted. I don't know. What do you think what does he look like he tastes like?
I mean,
popcorn? I don't know. He looks...
I mean, he's a well-kept man. He's got a nice beard, full of testosterone. I mean, I would be guzzling it down with her.
Well, if she, the way this sauce is on this plate, he might taste like cranberry sauce, and that's why she was just like, load the plate up. I don't even care what else is on it, just a shit ton of cranberry sauce.
Give me some of that ZF.
And they're like, use some of that wine to put that in the sauce, cook with it. We cut over to Connie, who of course has to hit his quota of 2 or 3 lines an episode, so we don't forget that he's here. And he comes in. Okay, I'm gonna be upfront by this. Connie, he's pissing me off a little bit this episode.
Yeah, I forgot he was in the show until you just said that.
I didn't realize it until the other day, the other podcast we did. But I'm full on the train of Connie should have been Marco and Marco should still be here. You kind of revolted at that. Yo, you didn't like that, but you just watch Connie's performance this episode, and we'll see where you stand.
How about
at the end.
Marco is half the man that Connie is? Okay.
Okay.
You chill out.
Shut up. We cut over to Connie, and he comes in with a strong performance by saying, "So, all we can do is sit here while it all plays out."
Connie,
you're in a fucking jail cell, Connie. Yes. But he's thinking big brain, and this is how big brain he gets. Well, first of all, let me say this. It's a pretty nice dungeon, though, because they're serving people tea, and a lad gives a saucer to Armin, who, of course, says thank you, even though he's imprisoned right now.
Yeah, Armin is the Colossal Titan. He's imprisoned, and he says, "Thank you." Like, what are you doing, bro?
Like, oh, thanks. And
but he
did. And he usually takes his tea with like a couple cubes of sugar and a little cream. Do they put cream? I don't know what they do with tea. I don't drink that. But he asks for a little sugar, but he's like, he doesn't want to be a bother, so he just drinks it anyway.
Yeah, he does. I can't bash on Armin too much though, because he clocked Eren. One good time, Eren deserved it. I kind of remind myself of Armin. I always stick up for women when guys are bad to them, and I would do the same thing he did. I would clock an MFer.
No, I love Armin. I just love the idea of him like being too scared to ask for the sugar, but then he looks over and Jean's got some tea and he's like putting sugar in it and he's like, oh, I should have asked, but he's already halfway done with his and now he doesn't want to be bothered now asking for it.
So he like kind of hits Jean on the elbow. He's like, give me some of that.
But no, like I was saying, I got a little ahead of myself because I had that awesome tea talk. Connie's working overtime and says, hey, Armin, could you bust us out of here as a Titan? And listen, I love how sweet Armin is. But it would have served Connie so right if Armin looked up and said, hey, Connie, when I transform, I essentially set off a nuclear bomb. So, no.
And even if I didn't,
you fucking idiot.
This whole place would fall on top of you, you dummy.
Yeah, I don't even think it would get to that point. I don't think it gets to the point where the place falls on top of Connie. I think he's just immediately incinerated.
Hey, he could then go meet his mother.
But instead,
that drank Zeke's fluid.
Well, dude. But instead, Armin just says, "No, I just destroy the city. The colossal can't do something as precise as Eren's Titan."
Yeah, it's a way to be nice, Armin. He's a good guy.
So I was so excited to talk about Jean this episode that I threw him in my imaginary tea scene, but he speaks up now. And asked why Eren beat Armin to a pulp. And Armin says he said hurtful things to Mikasa, and so I swung and he hit back.
Armin just says, nice guys finish last.
Now, we know this right here is like Ronnie's day one ship, so I love this next part. Jean says, he hurt Mikasa? How? And Mikasa says,
fist clutch.
Stop, it's fine. And Jean says, oh my god, I'm getting chills, dude. It's so cute. Jean says, no, it's not. What exactly did he say?
Aw, poor Johnny boy.
And freaking Connie doesn't pick up on the protective boyfriend vibes Jean is giving off and says, forget it. We already know he's a total piece of shit. Hey, Connie, shut up. All right? Ronnie's trying to get in his feels over here. And
no, I'm Team Connie.
And little skinhead, little gray skinhead over here has got something to say all the time.
I'm Team Connie right here. I would be Connie. You would be doing this to a chick. And I would be... I'd be over the side. No, he's a total piece of shit. If
Marco was around, Marco would have been best friend. He would have already been passing notes back and forth between Jean and Mikasa this entire time. You know, being like, hey, Mikasa, Jean wanted me to give this to you. You can just circle yes, no, and if you don't want to be so 100%, I actually took the liberty of writing in maybe in the middle of it. So if you want to just like maybe talk about it later on, you could just circle that. Anyway, thanks. And then just skips away. Because Marco, I think, skips everywhere.
He does skip everywhere. That's why he would have died maybe 3 episodes after he originally died.
No, I think it's to say how agile he is. And if his dick friends hadn't turned their backs on him and betrayed him, he's so limber that he would have been such an addition to the team.
I wouldn't call them friends. It was kind of messed up what they did.
So, but Connie still doesn't stop. He's still talking. I can't believe this. He goes on to say, now Eren has lost his mind and hurt the 2 people he should care the most about.
Oh, so you don't agree with him. You think Eren's a nice guy. That's what you're saying.
Here's the thing. It's not that Connie says bad lines. It's that they're unnecessary. Because if you've got half a brain, even like my boy Marco has, you can deduce the information that Connie's saying out loud. It's just not necessary. Leave us alone.
Okay. You're totally right. But he is the last idiot left standing. Sasha's gone now for certain comments like that. So I guess they just have to throw in Connie's comments.
Well, and speaking of someone that's not an idiot, and I'm all about, Jean says that he thinks if Aaron was sane, he wouldn't do it without a good reason. And Jean says John asked them if they think there's some sort of meaning behind it.
I agree. Let's go, Johnny.
So that's your side.
Yes.
You want to break that down a little bit, or just?
I mean,
because this was very quick. Like, I almost missed this the first time of John's logical thinking here, because Yelena comes right up after this. So go ahead and let's sit in this moment for a second.
I just think that there's no way Aaron is fully on board for what Zeke's doing. This has never been Aaron's character. I mean, maybe he had some mental lapse or the past 4 years that we haven't seen where he just all of a sudden switched. But I have to agree with Jean right here. It just doesn't make any sense why he would, because we know he's not manipulated too. So if he is, I will be a little mad at Isayama-san, because everything would have been off screen from Aaron's mind changing, and that'd be a little messed up, don't you think?
Well, you know where I stand.
You're full team Aaron just fucking sucks.
I hope I'm wrong. I've said that, but I'm scared about Aaron.
I think Aaron is going to be the hero in the end. He's going to switch up on Zeke, maybe even get Zeke to go on his side, and they solve the problem without doing the euthanasia.
How far can he go, though, before you can no longer be a hero, but rather just someone who puts an end to it?
If he puts an end to it, I'll be happy. I just don't want him to do it the way that Zeke wants to do it. It could be any other way. I don't know how he would do it, but the Founding Titan has so many damn powers.
So at this point, is Aaron still redeemable to you?
I think he is. He's got a chance to switch up and save everyone somehow. I don't know how he would, but I'd have to watch a few more episodes before I'm like, all right, he's not redeemable anymore.
All right. We might
what
talk
about
to
you?
This later.
You don't think he is?
I don't know. I mean,
what has he done super wrong?
I've kind of talked about this before, where initially when he came into that room and talked to Armin and them the first time, where I was like, okay, is he doing this dick thing? Is he pushing space in between them and him because he knows that this is the only way and he's trying to protect them? But then he screamed and said that he's always hated Mikasa, and then which is still maybe was very hurtful, but could still be argued as he's trying to put space in between them.
Right.
But then there was 5 or 6 extra punches that he sent into Armin's jaw that I felt maybe he didn't have to take it that far. Maybe the point got across just a couple punches before that. You didn't have to do that.
He knew he could regen, so he was just testing his regeneration abilities.
But all maybe to be talked about, all more stuff that we can talk about next episode, maybe.
Okay.
Of the podcast. So like I said, Yelena strolls up and says, "Hey, good to see you guys again. It pains me to reunite in a place like this." And you can't get anything past Connie, who looks at Anya Capone and says, "Holy shit, you're on their side too?"
Thank you, Connie.
Let us out.
Way to go, Connie. See, Connie knew what was up there. You cannot trust a guy that's always has cards in his hand.
But Anya Capone is salty because they put him on house arrest. Give me a break with this guy. You played cards with Hanji at her nice cottage on the countryside. You weren't put on house arrest, and if you did, it's because you were associating with shady characters who, by the way, didn't know if you noticed this part, were shady the whole time.
Yeah, and cunty.
Whoa. Jean speaks to Yelena, saying that she must be feeling pretty good since things went exactly how she planned. Aaron moved exactly how Zeke wanted. He raided Marley, getting the people's support, used wine to take over the military. And he says, now you have the Founding Titan and you can crush Marley and avenge your homeland. Isn't that the real reason you came to the island? And Anya Capone, all of a sudden finding his voice, calls this place primitive, and Connie plays right into his hands by grunting like a gorilla. You're making me mad, Connie. Making me real mad. Nicolo's here, by the way, and says, you advanced the island a long way, and also you and your pals could enjoy it once you ruled. Is that it?
Nicolo's the real protagonist of this story.
And Nicolo's chef buddy speaks up. You had a name for this guy.
Oh, we had Buff Bert. We got Buff Connie now.
It's just Buff Connie. He says, you were tricked and lost. That's all it is. Nicolo calls him a snitch and accuses him...
You forgot the other line he said. He said, dude, your lobster wasn't even that great.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah.
That must have just been in the dub. Nicolo calls him a snitch and accuses him of selling them out to be promoted to Yelena's lackey. Get some of that. This guy's name is Grease, by the way.
Yeah. Buff Connie's better.
And Buff Connie says, are you dumb? You're the one who sided with devils and betrayed us. You had the hots for some devil spawn who reeked of potatoes.
That was the best line of this episode.
No, it wasn't, Chad. Chad. No, it wasn't. It was a mean line.
Reeked of potatoes? That's fucking hilarious.
What is a reek? How do you even reek like potatoes?
Dude, if you are Sasha, you 100% reeked of potatoes. Do you know how many potatoes that WHORE
Potatoes are
ate?
lovely. I don't think you can reek potatoes.
I like that line. I'm just saying, I don't like this. I don't like Buff Connie at all. He's more of a baka than Connie is.
I've got a potato air freshener in my car. It's just...
Are you sure you don't just air fry potatoes in your car?
Well, I do have a wireless air fryer in my car, but... So Nicolo does the classic grasp behind bars, threatening to kill Grease. As Grease, Buff Connie, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Says, stupid me thought you would get a grip when the bitch died.
Yeah, okay, he's taking it too far now.
Oh, now he's taking it too far?
Was funny, but
when he called her a bitch. We see the quickest of shots where Fred, a.k.a. Mr. Browse, and his troop of children are sitting there listening to all this. So,
see, this is where he crosses the line. You can't be saying all this mess with Mr. Fred here.
Why did Grease hate Sasha so much? Damn. He's so mad. He's
a true Marleyan, man.
He goes on to say, I'll make it easy to understand. That spawn of the devil whore was... Oh, good lord. And then Yelena shoots him in the brain and apologizes for the disrespect.
Okay. Boss-ass move by Yelena right here. I'll call her Yelena for this moment. Yelena's a cunt. Like, we all know she is. I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm going to come out and say it, guys.
Yo!
If you want to leave a review on Apple Pod talking about me saying this, then just do it, because that's what she is. But this is a baller-ass moment when she just domes the dude. Domes BC right in front of everyone.
And you can kind of see, like, the gun barrel from the side. And this is one of the times I wish we had video cameras watching us, because I imagine her just kind of, like, flipping her wrist back in just, like, this nonchalant way. Just being like, flipping it and then just shooting it.
Yeah. Not even looking.
Yeah.
That's what you get for disrespecting Fred.
So she says this island has no need for those who would call you devils. She says, believe me, our goal is nothing as hollow as getting revenge on Marley. Our goal is to end the cycle of hatred, to save Eldia and Marley by Zeke's plan to save the world. The euthanization plan.
Yeah, BC had as much hate for Sasha as you did in seasons 1 through 3.
I didn't hate Sasha.
Oh, okay.
I hated...
Everyone roll back the tapes, please.
Yeah, please do. So once again, we can see how right Ronnie is. We cut to Gabby, who is just another person in her feels right about now. Just a lot of emotions in this episode. Aaron walks in and says, hey, brat that killed Sasha. If you want to save Falco, help me. Sasha getting a lot of play this episode. Shout out, girl. I love you.
Oh, okay.
So Gabby, she's a little freaked out and asks how. Aaron tells her to call for help on the radio to flush out intruders inside the walls. And just then, Peak comes out of hiding, stabs a man keeping guard in the throat.
Right in the throat, man.
Way to look alive, my man. And she points a gun at Aaron. Can we talk about this, whatever this security guard guy is? Seriously, bro? Aaron has the power of 3 Titans. And you're spending your effort making sure he could handle the little girl prisoner rather than watching his back by guarding the door.
You know Aaron was thinking, I should have just killed that guy myself after that moment.
So Peek, she's got the whole get-up. A scout's jacket, a white armband. She tells Aaron to not move and for Gabby to keep quiet. So immediately Gabby squeals, Peek! Peek! Good work, Gabby. And we get to the calling card.
Okay.
So I've got that here. It's not short, I'll tell you that. So here we go.
It's not like you.
Shiganshina... Don't say that. Shiganshina District. The fortified residential district of Paradise Island where the operation to retake the founding Titan began in 845. In the 5 years following the fall of Walmaria, it was inhabited by Titans. However, with the operation's failure, the hole was plugged by Eren Yeager and the current state of the district is unknown. The primary goal of the new strategy is for the Cart Titan and Jaw Titan to infiltrate Shiganshina, the southernmost district.
The way Aaron's looking this episode, I wouldn't mind if he plugged my hole.
And I tossed the keys to you on that awesome commentary. Thank you.
So, with the pistol pointed at Aaron, she tells Gabby to grab the rifle on the ground and point it directly at Aaron, too. So, Gabby slowly crawls. How funny was Gabby crawling to that rifle? Like, how terrified she was.
Well, yeah, rightfully so. I mean, Gabby's going through a lot recently.
She is. She crawls, like, on her knees. She, like, scoots on her knees. It was just really funny watching that.
No quick movements. Smart play.
And Pete tells Aaron to get his hands out of his pockets and stop looking so damn hot.
Yeah, he's like, sorry, can't. You know, if I take my hands out of my pockets, makes me look 4% less cool and 9% less sexy. I've got a new image, gotta keep it up. The hands staying in the pockets.
Which made me think back to all of this newly found Aaron moments. His hands are always in his pockets.
Oh, well, yeah.
Always.
I mean, listen. You become, it's a proven fact, like I looked it up, 9% more sexy if your hands are in your pockets. Because look at all pictures. What do you do with your hands when you take a picture? Don't think about it because that's the way Ronnie's mind works and you really get in your head. You can't do anything with your hands unless they're in your pockets to make it look natural. They just look freaky.
Or if somebody else is in the picture, you put your hand around their waist.
Right, well...
Huh?
Yeah, I've been meaning to speak to you about that. We've got some promotional pictures for the podcast coming up, and...
I can't do that?
And, well, your hand was a little south of the border, that's all I'm saying. So...
Okay, well...
Bring it on up.
All right, whatever. Yeah, Peak says...
I know it's pretty toned, but stop it.
Feek says, if you don't put your hands out of your pockets, I'll pull the trigger and scatter your brains on the floor, not giving you any time to transform. He says, then do it. Why else would you even be here? So, I mean, as douchey as he is, he's kind of baller in this moment.
He's calling her bluff, and it's working out for him.
God, he's so hot.
God. Yeah. What's more hot than this? Just walking up and shoving your forehead at the barrel of a gun.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Pete says, I'll do it. He just keeps calling her bluff. And then since you just stepped on it, he walks up and puts his forehead directly on the barrel.
You looked at me wanting to help you out with how hot he was because you were feeling a little uncomfortable about your sexuality. So I had to jump on the bandwagon and just got a little ahead of myself. But that's the hottest part, is it not? And was I wrong?
It's 100% the hottest part. And he says, you're not going to kill the founding Titan because your orders are to retake it, and you'll have to eat me, Peak. And that's when Peak starts getting a little nervous. She's like, I kind of want to, I won't lie. But she tells Gabby to take her fingers off the trigger. So, I mean, Gabby... I'm honestly surprised that Gabby didn't just panic and just pull the trigger right here.
Yeah.
Because she's so freaked out.
Right.
She did good.
Not thinking it through and stuff. And
Aaron says your family in the zone would pay for it if you did. Peak says, fine, I won't shoot. And eating you doesn't really seem possible right now, so...
Is she talking about his dick?
I don't know what she's talking about,
Good
man.
Lord. Clean it up,
yeah.
Show. God.
Did I mention that Aaron looks really good right here?
Yeah, you mentioned it. Moving on.
Peak says, you found my Titan's footprints, didn't you? I thought I did well sneaking in without being caught, but I have other reasons not to shoot. If you use the Founding Titan, you could beat Marley, right? You made the world your enemy because you knew you could win. So, what were you... The whole Peak vibe right here. Did you think there was any chance at all that she would shoot him?
So, no. But my question is, where do you land on this? Did Eren actually know she was here, or is she just acting like he knew and he's just going along with it because he's got an image to keep up?
Oh, he's going along with it. There's no way he'd be like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, he'd be like, yeah, I knew the whole time. I knew you were walking through these doors right now.
Right. So he didn't know that she was around, but at the same time knows what her position is, and he knows that she can't do anything, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because I think he knows that too, because they could have killed him, I guess, in Marley, but the whole plan is to eat him. Like, if he's killed, like, that doesn't solve the problem at all. They gotta eat him, or at least take his Founding Titan.
But does it really? I guess that's where I'm confused. Like, it seems like if you just shoot and kill him right now, you buy yourself a whole lot of time. Do you not? Like, what am I missing?
I guess you do. You might buy yourself time, but then in the future you worry about if the Founding Titan goes to another random Eldian that figures out it has the Founding Titan, and then it just links up with somebody and starts wrecking shit. So, like,
if someone knows this better than me, you're gonna have to explain it to me, because at this point, like, when you're having to fly your own Zeppelins to this place, you got two people infiltrating, and you get Eren held at gunpoint inside a room, and you got whatever it is, a 50-50 chance, and honestly it feels like more than a 50% chance that Titan goes into some unborn baby over in Marley, and you don't do it. It makes me, I don't know, I feel like I'm missing something.
I don't know, but what was I gonna say? I lost track there.
Well, it's probably because I just amaze you with how...
Oh, I'm not even fully bought on the fact that, like, if she did kill him right here, that it would kill him. That it would kill him, and that it would go to a newborn baby. When has the evidence ever... They've never actually said that that's happened. Like, they've kind of just speculated that that's what would happen.
Well, that's true, and that is... I do wish, like...
Because maybe they don't even really know. Like, that might be another thing.
Yeah, it makes me think about this scene, because what Peak does, like, everything Peak does here is very cool. She's like, I think it did great things for her character, and I go away from this episode liking Peak way more than I did before, and I did not like her before.
Because you liked her just because of her appearance. But
well, she's pretty hot. But don't drag me down there with you right now. It does kind of make me wish that we had seen that maybe... Eren is so OP that he's talking about this like he knows that she can't kill him. But then she pulls the trigger, and Eren does something, has hardened something where he's fine.
He catches the bullet?
Yeah. Not catches the bullet, but I don't know what kind of Warhammer things he can do that provides a shield from just standard bullets.
Yeah. But Eren asks her goal, and she says it's to free Eldians and her family from the internment zone. She said that she became a warrior because she wanted to give her only family, her dad, proper medical care. And this is when the throwback to him coughing when they met up in the Midnight Train episode.
Yeah.
Where I love how they just throw in little stuff like that, and it comes full circle. But I guess he was coughing just because he was sick and getting proper medicine to stay alive.
Right.
So essentially, the only reason he got that is because he was an honorary Marleyan, I guess. Like, if you're not an honorary Marleyan, you don't get proper medicine. Is that kind of what it's alluding to?
Well, yeah, we saw someone else had that whole... I can't think of who...
Was it Bert's dad?
Yes.
No, because he ended up dying.
It was Bert's dad, yeah. I knew we'd heard about something like that before.
Do you think Bert's dad died because Bert failed in his mission, so they just stopped giving him medicine? That would be...
Maybe, maybe. Or, maybe.
Maybe.
Hey, you know what? I'm thinking about that. Maybe.
Okay. He survived, but is sad because I will die just in a couple years. And she wants to show him a bright future before she dies. And Marley needs to be crushed for that to happen.
God, that hits home, right? Like, she made this sacrifice to give him the care that she needs just for right as he gets better or whatever. Now it's, you know.
And now you're going to see your daughter die in her mid-20s. Like, that's rough. And then she says, if we can slaughter them, I'll do what it takes. And Gabby tells her, Gabby starts freaking out. She's like, are you shitting me right now? And tells her that Zeke was the mastermind behind all of this. And then Gabby's like, what are we even fighting for? Once the world knows we are good Eldians, we will be free, right? And then she points the gun at Peak. So Gabby's on one right now.
Yeah, she didn't know what to do with herself anymore. She was quite a cunt. We have to be honest. She just was very terrible. She was. But if you think about the emotional roller coaster this poor little girl has been on the past few episodes, I can't help but feel slightly bad for her.
Slightly, yeah. Keyword slightly.
She's got to be so confused.
And then that's when Peak starts talking some sense and asks her if they are Marlians or Eldians. And Gabby says, we're honorary Marlians. Which just pisses me off that they've got them brainwashed that much, man.
Really gets the blood boiling.
She says, wrong, we are subjects of Ymir. We're not Eldians, we're subjects of Ymir.
Quit doing that with your eyes. God.
Stop. Lady?
You've been watching Aaron too much. Quit trying to impregnate me with your eyelashes.
That's the one truth we can't escape. We turn into Titans, but that power is going to lose us soon. And she mentions Flort Sava, or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
She's like, Marley will just slaughter us all once
Which
we're
I believe the throwback to the first episode of the season with all those guys in fezzes.
Yeah, who were just dummies.
Where those guys in fezzes put up one hell of a fight.
And then she says, there's 0% chance that we're going to be freed.
The fez is such a top 5 stupid hat of all time.
Top hat or fez hat? What do you think?
Which one's more stupid?
Yeah. Unless you're a magician. Which one's?
The top hat is...
If you don't have a rabbit in your top hat, then what are you even doing?
I don't think... but see, have you really seen people, like, unironically wear top hats?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Remember the guy at your school back in the day?
What are you going for here?
Mr. Andy was his name? Didn't he wear a top hat all the time? He wore a top hat and had a cane, I swear to God.
What are you doing? Mr. Andes?
Didn't he?
Are you being serious?
Yes.
No, he didn't have a top hat.
Or maybe it was a fedora.
Fedora.
He had a fedora. I got it completely wrong. I apologize for that.
Yes, but God, I was so confused there. I didn't know what you were talking about. Yeah. My junior and senior year, I played rec basketball with my friends. You know, I probably could have made the high school. I probably could have made the varsity team, but just didn't want to put in the time or the effort, so I just played with my buds. We were known as the Jedis, and we had 2 people our same age coach us wearing fedoras.
Fedoras, okay. So it was, ironically, I guess, while they were coaching you?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't a top hat. So
a real quick story. Junior year, we won 2 games, weren't very good. Senior year, we had a pretty good program. We had one of our friends who actually played on the high school varsity team suit up and play with us in the playoffs. We won the game. And to be fair, you know, our friend didn't even do that much. The Jedis really came together. The back of my jersey had R2-D2. We were also sponsored by Barack Obama. I have a picture of the jersey. I might have to post it on the Discord. It's pretty epic. And we won the game. Shocking, I know, but someone in an entire gym filled with like 4 different basketball courts noticed our friend played for the high school varsity team, went and told the management, where they pulled our coach, who, I don't know if you remember this part, was just one of our friends the same exact age wearing a fedora. Back to the office, where someone was able to pull up our friend's Facebook profile, saw his profile picture wearing a basketball jersey for the high school team, and we got disqualified.
Did anything happen to that guy? Did he get in trouble with
No.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
Wow.
The Jedis were winning it all that year, but
and you didn't even need him, man. You should have just trusted on your own basketball talent.
Confidence is something that I lack a lot of.
Okay. Well, moving on. That's your line. I'm sorry for using that. Aaron?
Well, yeah, you just, for some reason, you've been doing it a lot recently.
Well, that one was on accident. I just figured we should move on from that since you talked about
Is this the worst episode we've ever done?
This is the worst one we've done.
I'm sorry, guys.
So Aaron cuts his finger and says, "Prove it." This guy is just... He's the biggest terrorist using his Titan powers ever. Like, how many times now has he just cut himself and then just been like, held his hand up and been like, yo,
and
do
now,
something.
Dude, now he's just being so cocky and arrogant with it. Before, it was like an entire hand slice. Now he's acting like he's trying to test his blood sugar because he has diabetes, like he just pricked his finger.
Yeah.
Just get over yourself, Aaron. God, we get it. You're fucking hot now. You've gained thousands of Instagram followers, and you've just recently been sponsored by Sugar Bear Hair.
Yep. And Monster, as douchey as he is, he's sponsored by Monster too.
Just leave me alone.
And if I'm being honest, man, take off the undershirt. You were rocking that coat with no undershirt, and now it's just like, come on, dude. Show us the abs.
You're skinny. He's skinny, muscly.
What?
He's skinny buff. He's not even... He just got real skin. It's not even real muscle.
Oh, that's what makes him so good, though.
You gotta
have 0% body fat.
You gotta have beef like Reiner. That's a man that's...
Reiner's beefy, but Aaron is just chiseled to the bone.
I'm sick of it.
So he says, if you're going to cooperate, show us you mean it. And she says she'll show where the comrades are if he takes her to the roof.
So real quick, what did you think of Peak's whole spiel to Gabby? Because we, at the risk of getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, I'm going to get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Because we know that she's just playing all this up. She actually doesn't believe in this.
Well, I feel like somewhat she does.
Well, she does. Later on, she says... Well, here, we'll go ahead and talk about it later. God.
Okay, well...
I'm sorry I got ahead of myself.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Just here. I'm going to bend over. You just... Okay, that was... Thank you.
Better? You good now?
I'm sorry.
Do it again, and it's going to be harder.
Dude, I didn't deserve that one.
We go back to that mammoth of a lady,
Ouch.
Yelena, and her telling the plan to Armin and the rest of them. And she says, all suffering from Titans will end gradually and peacefully. And Jean says, but if we slowly die out, won't we only have geezers to defend us in the end?
Love the word geezers.
Yeah. He's like, we'll only have people like Pixis to defend us in the end. And she says the rumbling can serve as a deterrent as long as the royal bloodline is, what is that word I'm looking for?
Upheld?
Yeah, upheld. Whatever word it was, typing, autocorrect.
They're just making it seem like, just as long as the royal bloodline remains.
Is alive, yeah. She said, Queen Historia is the key.
Way to think quick on your feet over there.
As long as subjects of Ymir inherit the founder until her child passes away. So, you think this child is going to be a boy or a girl?
I guess we can talk about it now. So, once I let the episode sink in a little bit, obviously I have nothing to go off of because I don't know of any young girl that's currently been in Zeke's life, and I can't think of any girl that would have grown up that Zeke has a connection with now. So, I don't know if this is now. Hold on to your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Paths. If Zeke's he's connecting www.paths.com/the coordinate, and he's seeing a future daughter of his. That's the thing.
Well, it doesn't have to be his, but it could be the future royal bloodline.
We don't, but the fact that I'm just going all in.
You're going all in.
Going all in.
Zeke's fluid impregnated Historia.
Different type of fluid. This one's much more potent. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going. I'm riding with it.
Okay. I like that.
And just to, back up a little bit, so I'm right either way, maybe. it might not be his kid, but it's definitely Historia's daughter, the one that has royal blood. But now I'm kind of mad that I backed off a little bit. I'm going all in again, immersing myself into that Zeke's daughter.
Because this person, we saw something at the end of the episode where the person earlier in the episode.
Well, you did. This is you. I missed this, so don't drag me into whatever cockamamie theory you're getting ready to come up with.
No, I'm saying we saw that same girl in the end.
Well, you saw.
Well, you did too, if you were paying attention.
I didn't see it.
We saw the same girl in the end, and I think.
But be more specific, because now you got people going back and looking. It wasn't on.
I think it was like, I guess, a teaser for the next season that was at the end of the episode we watched. Do you know?
It was, I don't even know if it was, because it showed like young Aaron and stuff like that. I was kind of stopped looking. It looked like it just different scenes from past seasons, and so I don't know. But it was just something on the illegal way.
Yeah. And then it went straight into paths, which would lead you to believe that maybe Zeke is seeing the founder herself.
Hypothetically, illegal version we watched.
Hypothetically.
We watched on Crunchyroll, and you were like, oh, here's where you've got your theory that, well, look at mine. Look at how she's at the end of this episode, and then she wasn't there.
It wasn't on Crunchyroll. It was on whatever this website we watched it on, hypothetically. But I was saying, what if he is a subject of Ymir? What if it is Ymir?
Yeah.
Because he's dying. Well, I'm just thinking he's dying, and like apparently she split into 9 different Titans, and he's just seeing her at the end of his life.
Okay.
And then we saw that teaser at the end, and I was like, oh, that's so that bitch.
Yeah. It's a pretty fucking awful thing.
But dude, how cool would it be though if he is the dad of Historia's daughter, and that's her?
Woo, paths.
Basically, what we're saying is paths.
And that concludes this episode.
So Yelena says there are certainties, but there is. Yelena says there are no certainties, but there is. Jesus Christ, this is a terrible note, dude. Okay, so she just talked about Queen Historia being the key, the subjects of the Ymir. Mm-hmm. They have to keep passing on the founder until her child dies.
Real quick, because I see that your confidence is kind of like wobbling a little bit. I just want to say,
rapidly.
I feel like you could use a pick me up right now. So I'm going to say I'm very impressed because you have not yawned. You've tightened it up after last week. You were very a lazy dolphin.
I was. I'm sorry, guys.
You've tightened it up this week, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing it your all. Sometimes your all is not good enough, as we could see in that last note, but I appreciate you trying.
I just kicked it. Yeah, okay, so Yelena's saying there was no certainties, but there is one certainty, and that is the threat of the Titans. And their bad history will be put to an end by Aaron and Zeke. And she doesn't know how long humanity will last, but it's hard to think that a greater feature will ever come to pass. Which, she's crazy, but she's kind of right.
Cuckoo.
She said people will speak of the brothers as legends for millennial to come, like the gods of the past.
Cuckoo. She's crazy.
She is very crazy, but she's got a point though. Do you think history will be made if they actually accomplish this feature?
I mean, history would be made, but someone needed to take a dining cloth, like a tablecloth, and just tuck it under her shirt because she's drooling, and also her eyes are sparkling with the heat of 1,000 suns just talking about this in the dungeon. I hope they gave her the strong chill pill because she needs one.
She wants that warhammer and that Kong dong, if you know what I mean. And then Armin just starts crying out of nowhere. He just starts bawling his eyes out. He's like, that's the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
He's like, yes.
And
took the words right out of my mouth.
He's like, that was so noble of you. And then she looks at him and glistens more and says, that's wonderful. She's like, now I've got the Colossal Titan on my side. And then Jean's looking over at Armin like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? So how do you think Armin's being genuine there?
No, we sniffed this out right from the beginning. I guess this is his attempt to do the old switcheroo, where first it was Yelena and them making like the people of Paradise think they were on their side, and now Armin's saying I can do that too, and now he's trying to make it seem like he's on her side. Mm-hmm. Because this Armin didn't seem like that good of an actor.
He doesn't, but he fooled Annie in season 1.
Yeah, but the crying was too much. Not even she was crying.
Yelena fell for it, though.
She
it looked
did.
like it.
She did.
But just then, a guard comes.
She's sneaky, though. Hey, she's large.
She is.
But she's pretty sneaky.
She is a mammoth of a woman, but then just then, a guard comes running through yelling that there's an invader. And I love this scene because I knew you had a great take for this. Did you have a great take for this?
Well, just, none of these guys can just be calm. It's basically just calm down, all right? Whether you yell or you say, I'm sorry to interrupt, but there we have an intruder, it does the same thing. All this guy's doing is getting everyone stressed out.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's analyze the situation a little bit first, all right?
So then we go over to Aaron, and he's walking Gabby and Peek with guards up to the rooftops. And Aaron says, if you can point out the other invaders, we can trust you, but for now, you're going to be chained to that brat who killed Sasha. And if you transform, you'll blow her to bits. So Aaron's just another terrorist threat. Aaron's on one.
I've either seen this somewhere, maybe on the Discord, or you said something about it before. The fact that Aaron keeps referring to Sasha does a lot for your way of thinking, I think.
What do you mean by that?
Where he refuses... Okay, so I guess it definitely wasn't you. I guess you answered my question there. So whoever thought that or said that on Discord, good for you. Basically just
Probably
saying
Ben.
The fact that Aaron won't just say that girl or Gabby or anything like that, but he has to reference Sasha every single time. Like, he remembers that that's the one that killed Sasha, his friend. I think does a lot for your way of thinking about Aaron.
That he still cares. Mm-hmm. He's going to save everyone, bro.
And gives me a glimmer of hope.
He's not an FU for thinking that he's just a shitbag. I mean, he is a shitbag, but he's a nice shitbag. So Peek says, don't worry, this brat will come around soon. And then as they're walking upstairs, Peek waves at the soldiers down low. And, I mean, all of them are just fanboying over this chick. They're all blushing. This is how I would be. If any girl waves at me and smiles, I'm going to be oozing with diarrhea down my pants.
Yeah, I mean, all the guys down there, including me, are like, I'm going to marry that girl.
And then we get Porco just in the middle of all of them.
Yeah, hey, Porco, did you think we weren't going to see that smoking hot TikTok star in the middle of a bunch of big-nosed regular Randys?
Oh, my. This was the same take you had a couple episodes ago. Draw the 5 most boring guys and then put Porco in the middle of them and act like we won't see him.
We weren't supposed to see that guy who's got 13.2 million likes on TikTok. He's done, and he just shit on your face because he's done the same TikTok dance 7 times in a row just in a different room in his house. It's unbelievable how many likes these things get. But no, the regular Randys, I'm saying regular Randys because I think they're all named Randy. I think they showed up and they're like, hey, what's your name? And he was like, oh, my name's Randy. What's your name? He goes, no fucking way. My name's Randy too. And then a guy poked his head around the corner. He's like, are you guys named Randy? They're like, yeah. He goes, me too. And then they saw Peek and they all splooged their pants.
Oh, yeah. Just Randy 1 through 5.
And that was their day. They did nothing else all day.
And Porco's just thinking, I cannot wait to kill these bastards. So Peek, while they're walking, Peek asks where Falco is. And Aaron says he's here, but he did drink some of Zeke's fluids.
That's not what he says.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He says a little bit of that wine slid into his gullet.
After he indulged on a little of the fluids, right?
He didn't indulge on any of the fluids.
Oh, okay, you are right. This is after he mentions Zeke's fluids. He says from the wine, and then Gabby says, it's my fault again. Yeah, bitch. Falco's been saving your ass for a whole season now, and you're still not grateful for it.
God, I'm so sad about Falco.
Yeah.
Move on. I don't like thinking of Falco. in this precarious situation. He's too nice.
Then Peak says, "Oh, so you took over the military with Zeke's fluid." And then she says, "Do you know how he even has that power?" And Aaron says, "Beats me." Like, come on, Aaron, terrible acting job. But then Peak says, "Other than Zeke, no one does. Ever since I met him, I felt like Zeke was telling lie after lie. And then 4 years ago, I confirmed it. Only with you did his words seem true." What?
That's the fucking terrible job of me co-hosting over here.
What?
I don't want to say it.
Say it.
You said, Aaron said...
That is a terrible co-hosting job. You shouldn't have said it.
I know. I'm going to edit it out.
Don't edit it out. You edit out everything that you say, and then you never edit out my stuff.
I know. That's why people think I'm so awesome.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, "Oh, Chad, that guy sucks. I fucking hate him." And then I have to deal with that.
I suck so bad. I have so many people fooled.
And then she talks about what Zeke said 4 years ago. "Believe me, I know what you're going through, Aaron. Someday I'm coming back to rescue you." And she says, "Why didn't he tell you about his secret power? Like it can draw out the founding Titans' powers or something?" So I don't know if she's just like inferring that or if she somehow has a good idea about it.
It is interesting because I remember us talking about this back in season 3 at the time where I thought Zeke was just saying, I'm coming back for you. Just like that being full of hidden meaning where he was going to use Aaron. Like I didn't think that he actually had any emotional attachments to Aaron because he had us all duped.
He's a family man.
And so I do like how they tie this back around because it is like Peak was there and I wonder how she experienced all that. If she thought kind of the same way I did and once didn't really realize that how the betrayal worked until he's actually gone and then he's like, holy shit, he meant that the whole time. So
Which is interesting too because she was with Zeke, just him and her for a long time.
Yeah.
Like they fought off other nations. I mean, I guess there was other soldiers there, but they fought off other nations, just them two. Mm-hmm. She probably indulged on some of his fluids. I mean, we don't really know what happened there.
Moving on.
So they get to the top of the rooftops finally, and that mammoth of a lady, Alina, is waiting at the top. And then Peak mentions that, "Oh, you shaved your beard. I thought it looked great on you."
And she's just being sarcastic because
cause
I think we decided earlier that was just some streamers that Yelena had bought from Party City, and it was just terrible. Terrible job.
So Peak and Gabby, they keep walking. They're walking towards the edge of the rooftops, and Yelena's whispering to Aaron. She's like, "Do not trust that woman. Only trust me." And he says, "Yeah, I don't, but it's mutual." And then Peak says, "By the way, aren't you using the founding Titans' powers? Where's Zeke?" And Aaron says, "You'll find out soon. Now show me the enemy." And then that's when we get a very suspenseful moment as soon as he says that.
Quiet. They're
very
going
quiet.
No music.
No music. Peak's beautiful face. Aaron's beautiful face. And then Peak turns and points after grabbing Gabby's hands to protect her directly at Aaron and says, "Right there."
Music picks up. Paint the scene.
I'm painting the scene.
Do it.
Let me get my vape out. I'll paint it in the clouds. So I'm going to blow a cloud and then I'll paint it.
I got what you were saying. Don't have to explain it. And
so she points at him, and then right then, Porco busts through the bottom, transforming into the Jaw Titan, with Aaron just having the shit look of a face on himself.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for this.
He was not ready for this. And then Porco, she tackles Gabby. Porco bites Aaron's leg off, the same one that which I still want to know how he cut his leg off earlier this season.
I know you love that torture porn stuff.
Oh, yeah, to himself. Oh, dude. And then Aaron transforms as well. Well, everyone, and then it shows a shot from everyone down low, and Armin's kind of like, it must have happened. It's happening now.
Cut to Connie saying something stupid like, "I think something's happening up there." He didn't actually say that, but the way this episode went for him, he should have.
And then just an epic explosion of Titans. I mean, just awesome. Awesome imagery, awesome art. Good job, Mappa. and Galliard is protecting Gabby and Peak now.
What are you talking about, Titans?
Like when Aaron transforms, the whole boom up from when Porco booms up, it's like that explosion of Aaron transforming is just beautiful.
Okay, all right.
It's not the same lightning though, which is kind of weird. I don't know if you noticed that.
He's like making his own lightning at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then so then Galliard's protecting Gabby and Peak now. Which, come on, okay. If we're gonna call this guy a name, stick to one name: Porco, Paco, Galliard.
Also, how about this, Porco? If you come at the king, you best not miss, my boy.
Yeah. And then that's when Peak points up to the sky and tells Gabby to look, and we got some Zeppelins rolling in.
Right, 'cause that's when Gabby's like, did you mean all that stuff you said? Or I didn't think that you trusted Marley, blah, blah, blah.
And she says, I don't trust Marley. I trust the comrades I fight alongside of. And we get Commander Magath. Good seeing this face again. And he says, that's the signal. They gave us the location of the founding Titan.
Mm-hmm. We see Reiner.
Reiner's looking more confident than ever.
He's looking pretty healthy, actually, which was a surprise. We see Colt. You had some smart aleck comment about what is Colt going to do. I thought that was kind of mean.
I said, what the hell is Colt going to do? That's exactly how I said it.
Even more so than that, Porky, not to be confused with Porco. Porky's the one that looks like he's got a snout.
The doofus.
Yeah, he's a heavy-set gentleman, and he's in the background, too.
And Reiner's just giving that stare down at Aaron. And that's when Aaron looks up and he says, bring it on, Reiner.
Whew, calling him out. Damn, there's a lot going on for him to just call out Reiner here.
How epic is that, actually, that everything that just happened, even with Porco biting his leg off, he's more focused on Reiner, just fucking up Reiner.
It's weird. It's kind of weird, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, it is.
I thought he would have had his... after he walked away from him last time, I thought he would have had his eye on more of the prize, but he's still calling out Reiner.
I hope we get that one-on-one Aaron versus Reiner moment.
Mad lad versus sad lad.
Mad lad versus
once
sad
again.
Lad. It's epic.
We've seen it before. We had to see it again because last time was pretty
underwhelming.
Yeah.
But
Reiner's been hitting the gym. He's prepared himself. He's not taking it for granted this time. He's bringing it. Yeah. What an episode. And now all we got to do is just a real simple task of just waiting 9+ months.
9+ months, that's easy. Women do it all the time.
All right, going for that analogy again. Real quick, so Peak's mindset. Let's talk about that real quick.
All right.
So she doesn't trust Marley. She trusts the comrades. What does that mean for them long term?
I don't really know. I think maybe she just thinks all of their family's going to die and whatever Aaron and Zeke's going to do, so they got to fight him because she doesn't want her family to die.
Because what she was saying before is totally right. Like she's got the one... She's not as brainwashed as Gabby. She knows that this never ends good for them. So I just thought it was interesting to see the two sides of the coin of the way she's thinking.
And too, Commander Magath is pretty cool. Like he actually
seems
cool, like
he's just the smallest. I mean, even though he's got a lot of pull inside the military, he's not the one making calls like that.
And maybe she just wants to save Gabby, Falco. She's always been she knows what they've been through, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we can get into the top 5 now if you want.
Yeah, let's go and do the top 5 here. So
here's the thing about the top 5 this season.
Mm-hmm.
We've been through so many different characters' perspectives.
And a lot of getting a lot of one character and then not seeing them for the longest time because we started off only in Marley and then we finally brought the whole
first 5 episodes were all about Reiner pretty much, and then we haven't seen him since. But
yeah, so I'll go. I'm pretty happy with my list though.
Okay, I'll let you start her off.
How did you feel about your list?
I like it.
With that being said, so number 5, I had to throw her in here. I went with Mikasa, and I think it's just because I'm sad.
Yeah,
I'm sad for her. But
I mean, she had that one scene this episode where she looked like she had been milking.
It's okay. So it's just a combination of me feeling sad for her and me looking forward to what is in store for her.
Okay.
Because I feel like even though she's a main character, a lot of the times, unless she's like kicking ass or talking about Aaron, she takes a back seat to things. And I'm hoping to see her just become independent and just fucking shit up.
Throw that ODM gear on her.
You know, living for herself, not for anyone else. That's what I want. I want like Mikasa to live for herself. How beautiful is that?
Are you worried about her? She doesn't have any ODM gear, man. And all this is happening.
No, I'm not worried about her.
Okay, well, number 5. Fred Rouse.
Nice. Good one.
He was tremendous this season.
Yeah.
This guy was the most reasonable guy in the entire show.
He's a stand-up lad. Would love to, you know, just hang out with him.
Mm-hmm. Work on the farm with him.
Yep.
Milk his horses.
Farm with him. Yep.
Well, not milk them, but take care of his horses.
Well, you didn't say milk them. You said milk his horses, which don't think you milk horses. So weird day that you guys are planning, but go for it. My number 4, Levi.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude, it's just once again, these are all people that are just on my mind real heavy, and I'm sad, and I had to throw him in there.
He's dead.
He's not dead. Don't be an idiot.
Number 4 for me, Raina.
Okay.
He did awesome.
That was one where I was like trying to find a spot for Reiner, but he's been gone for so long at this point that...
Well, that's what's so weird is like even Levi was only in like a couple episodes this entire season.
And that's why it's recent. Like Reiner could have easily been my 4, but I think it's just recency bias. Same for like other than Falco and Gabby and Zeke, that goes for all the Marlians because we just haven't seen them in a bunch of episodes.
All right.
My number 3, Armin, and
Armin,
just because he finally stood up to Aaron.
Yeah, he did. That was an awesome moment.
He's still, even when, you know, the chips are down, things are tougher right now than ever, and he's still just trying to be a nice guy. But at the same time, he's starting to flirt with putting his foot down and doing what he's got to do.
And I hope he has some of the beep-bitty-boop-bop-bitty-beep-bop moments coming up.
Here's the thing. Like, if Aaron switches, like you're saying, and I guess I'm hoping... then even if he does that, it's going to be near the very end of the series. So I'm going into the second part basically with, the perfect time for a vape flip there. Nailed it. We're going into the second part where it's like Armin, Mikasa, Levi, and Hanji are like the main new protagonists that I look at. I'm like, just be okay. And Falco to a certain extent, but I'm so worried about Falco.
Well, my number 3, I'm going to go with Eren Yeager.
Okay. Yeah, another one.
He's just so interesting at this point. I was most interested in Zeke from the start, wanting to know more about him, and now it's got to be Eren. Like, I got to know what's going on with this guy. But he is a douche, but he's also done some badass things this season.
He's made for good television, but he's disgusted me so much that I couldn't put him in my top 5. Number 2 for me, Falco. And
choice.
Falco he's got that Armin thing going for him where he's so much good, and I liked how he protected Gabby even though she was just the worst at some parts. But I think he sees the world in a good way, and God, I hope he's okay, man.
Well, that is a good choice because my number 2 is also Falco.
All right.
And we must protect him at all costs.
Amen, brother. Number 1, Zeke Yeager. Had to put him in there. That last episode was incredible. Finally got to see what's going on behind that, or in that brain of his. And I think, once again, he's just another well-written character. And I'm excited to see how he erupts from this Titan's stomach.
Yeah, that's the same with me. Number 1, Zeke. That last episode might have been my favorite of the entire season 4. Of the entirety of the show since season 1. But no, he is... Once we finally learned like his true motives and how he got there, it made his character just way better. He's S tier. Love him. That's a One Punch Man reference, but you're not an anime guy. You've got everyone fooled. All right.
So that does it for our episode 16 coverage, but not our part 1 season 4 Attack on Titan coverage. We will be coming back sometime this next week. We might not even have to wait until Sunday, because now that we don't have to wait on an episode, it might be nice to record a little bit earlier. But we're just going to be answering a lot of questions. I've been seeing everyone's questions. Thank you for asking them. I know we've been asking for them, just the way the timings worked out and how the scheduling of the show's been crazy. Just haven't been able to get to them. But we'll answer a lot of questions, go over our thoughts for what could be coming in the second part.
Also, still working on one of our buddies getting our art situation under control. I'm going to have to text him maybe a mean text. Chad normally does not go into mean territory, but I might have to get my hands dirty.
I mean, it's just a situation where we thought he forgot about us. He reassured us. We were like, oh, wow, he's actually doing this and he's going to do it soon. And now I'm just back to like, did he forget about us again? So stay tuned. We might
I'm grabbing my phone right now. I'm texting that bastard.
We might have to enlist the help of listeners. It hasn't come to that quite yet, but be on your toes. If anyone knows any,
we might dox his ass.
Graphic designers, let us know, and we might have to hit them up here in a little bit because we want some new logos and some new cover art. And then the final thing I want to say is, because some people, Chad, some people, I'm getting ready to get in my feels here for a second, so if you could, I know you're doing some good podcast work.
Yep.
Some people might not tune in for the next episode, since it's just the diehards, since we're not actually covering an Attack on Titan episode. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to say thanks to everyone who have found us this season and has started listening. Your kind words are noticed, and we appreciate you.
We really appreciate you guys, and you guys are important to us.
All right, so just saying the same thing I said. That's beautiful, Chad.
In meme format, I will post it. Hey, join our Discord because I will post the meme format of you guys being important to us on the Discord.
And I would just like to say, I literally, and by literally I mean literally, couldn't have said what you said better myself because I did say it. With that being said, I've been Ronnie. Join the Discord, subscribe, follow us on Twitter @podcastchronic.
The name's Chad.
We'll talk with you next week. We're also covering Jujutsu Kaisen, so stick around if you're into that. But if not, we will see you for part 2 of Season 4 of Attack on Titan. Peace.
Peace.